Morning traders. Let's review last week and then let's look at what we're looking for today. Gold did exactly as anticipated. We were looking for a bearish move due to Trump becoming the president, which we anticipated beautifully. And I know a lot of you guys caught a lot of this move, which is just textbook. It's perfect. Really basic impulse entries. Like that's all they are. The only reason we're making a lot of money from these because the ranges are so huge. I mean, multiple entries like this, all we do is take on the break of that low, and then look, it's like it's 300 pips, two 30-minute candles. It's crazy. We've got to capitalize. We've got to make the most of this because some of these entries are just absolute textbook. When ranges are this large, we can utilize the 15-minute time frame as well. Hence why we took a beautiful shot on the break of this 15-minute low here. A lot of you even got the tail end of this. Excuse me. The tail end of this break here, and it still doesn't matter. It's 120 pips just to this low. So a lot of you guys really made the most of last week. So fantastic, really textbook trades. I'm not too sure what this was. Oh yeah, sorry, that was the review for Friday. I sent a setup. I think it was Alex and a few caught that, but it was a tricky one. And we only had a 15-minute close above. We could take on the break of the high to this, obviously high here, and it was that simple, really. What I'm looking for now with gold is we've got a fake out strategy. So let's just remove everything here. So gold's doing exactly what we wanted: a break to this level, and then a move up to it. That's what we were looking for. The first part's happened. Now we've had a break, a daily close below this low here, right? So we've had a daily close below, and the next daily is closed back above. So the fake out strategy is now in play. So we are obviously looking like we are retesting this level right now. So I'm anticipating price to reject this and continue to the upside. Now, we don't know. It could just continue to the downside, and it makes the trade invalid. So we've got to wait and be cautious and wait for price action to give us our entry. So let's go down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, really nothing yet because it hasn't closed. And if you look on the 4 hour, we can see we've obviously got this level of support as well. So we could easily reject this level on the 4 hour and then go to the upside, which leaves the daily wick retest on the daily. So just because we have a 4 hour close below this daily zone doesn't mean it's still not the retest on the daily. So always remember that, all right? So, and the next thing we can do is we use our fib just for added confirmation. Now, I'm guessing this is going to be the 786 right at this level. So if we draw this high to this low, our 786 is pretty much just below that level. So what I would like to see is possibly a wick into this level, some bullish formation. We can attack early impulse buys because this range is literally 130 pips. But for long-term trades, we'd like to see some possibly a 4 hour fake out strategies and a close below, a close back above, or just a wick down into the 618 and then a bullish close above. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but we've just got to be ready to attack either way. So let's be patient on gold. On the 30-minute, it's obviously not giving a lot, but we do have a bullish zone here. So we can scalp buys above that, or obviously I'd prefer, we can take scalp shorts, but I prefer the buys. If we do get a bearish close below this low, obviously we've got 70 pips to the downside. So we can still do, we can still attack those. Let's just see what happens. It's Monday. Volume generally arrives a little later. So I'd like to wait for that volume to arrive around 6:37 a.m. But obviously things are spicy at the moment with obviously Trump being the president now. So things are good. So we should get a lot of volume. And the pivots there beautifully as an added complement to then take that buy to the upside. So let's see what materializes later on. USD CAD, I'm just going to quickly run down all pairs. Obviously, we'll cover what last week as well. So what do we have here on USD CAD? Very similar. Oh, no, it's gold, sorry. I was going to say it looks the same as gold. USD CAD, obviously, we had a beautiful trade last week. It was a really simple, and we had a break of structure, a retest of structure, and a drive to the downside. It was obviously the TP was here, 30 pips, but it obviously ran to a beautiful 70 pips, 80 pips. So really textbook trade, zero drawdown on that one. USD JPY, obviously we've got bullish structure. We can all identify that by the way price is going. So what do? We want to look for buys. So I can already sort of see something lining up here. So if we close above this level on the 4 hour, which would be this strong level here, we can obviously then look for buys, but we've got to be patient and wait for a clear break to then attack those buys. Obviously, we're making a higher high, higher low. Now, we would like to make a higher high here, and then that retest would be beautiful. If price stops here and it makes a lower high, this retest is less probable. Now, always remember that we want the actual to make a higher high before we make that higher low. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, won't work out. It means it's less probable. So always take that into account when looking for those retests. Euro CHF, absolutely fuck all on that pair. Generally do not trade it. Euro CAD, we caught. Oh no, we missed this. I missed this one. So similar to Euro Ward, which I'll get onto in a second. I was waiting for this short as well. So we can clearly see we've got this major level of liquidity here. I mean, just look to the left. What a beautiful, beautiful level. We missed the first entry, but then we're all waiting for was similar to your reward is a break of this sort of level. I even used a trend line for this for a little added confluence. And eventually we got the confirmation, but I missed it because it was not in my session. And the confirmation was so simple. A 4 hour engulfing close, which engulfed the previous 6 candles, broke below these lows, and then all you do is wait for that retest, which gave a beautiful wick back on that 4 hour. And then we could have entered that trade probably on the break of that lows or even down here somewhere once we've had that confirmation. But we missed it. Never mind. We caught the Euro Ord anyway. So Euro USD. So I must have drawn this when price was around here. And we sort of did a deep retest to this next level before we went to the downside. So again, I like this level for a retest and then continue to downside. Really simple structure here, I think. So let's see what your USD does. Your reward, again, we caught a beautiful trade. Unfortunately, I closed around here and then the runner got stopped out. But just look at how, when you get, if you remember, I said I'm looking for a sniper entry here, which means we entered and the stop loss was 8.8 pips, and that ran at a 1,242. Just to put into perspective, if you risk 1%, you've made 42% on your account. These are possible. You've got to look for those entries, but it was a beautiful. That's why I love using this 786 for confluence. So we're going to break the structure similar to Euro CAD, looks exactly the same pretty much. We're using the moving averages as resistance. We've got the head and shoulders. We've actually got that lower low here, which I just discussed about USD JPY. When we don't make a higher high, the retest are less probable, just like that there. And then we had to break the downside. That's when we know we're then waiting for a retest to then take that short. So it was a beautiful textbook. That was the lower time frame. But don't forget, these come from the higher time frame analysis. So on the daily, I saw we had this level of supply demand here, and also on the weekly, we can see we were coming back to retest this strong level, which we wicked into. So always remember, it's top-down analysis. We're just getting these trades from. It's not just looking at the 1 hour and finding it, because it's got to make sense on the higher time frames. Okay. Euro JPY. Looks like we've come to. So this is. Let me look what this is. This is lining up beautifully. I'm just going to pause for a second to see if you can possibly see what I'm looking at before I say it. Just like those previous pairs, we've got a beautiful range. We broke below that range. We've made a lower low than this. So now all we need to do is wait for a retest at this level, some sort of bearish price action to form, and we can take that short. Let's just see if it lines up with the weekly. So the weekly, we have had a beautiful bearish engulfing below these lows, which, I mean, this is actually the fake out strategy on the weekly, guys. So we want a weekly wick now into this level, which is the lower time frame retest. On the daily, again, we've got a beautiful engulfing. So this trade is looking beautifully as well as the move. So we might even not get that full retest of this level. I would prefer the deeper retest to this next level, but we can still possibly take this short depending on how we act sort of at this level here. Keep an eye on your JPY, because this could be lining up for a beautiful trade. Let's move on down the pack. So GA, sort of ranging at the moment. Obviously, we are looking bearish, so looking to be like most likely we could continue down to this side. Possibly looking for scalps on the lower time frame. Not really much given. Not a big fan of anything on the pair at the moment. Pound CHF, not a big fan. GJ. Now let's remove all that. So I was discussing this, I believe, with Ryback late last week, and it was a great example what he was looking at. So he was looking for buys from this strong level, which is great. Okay, we've determined a level, and we're looking for buys from it, which was here. And we don't just take the buy; we've got to wait for confirmation on the lower time frames. That's imperative, right? So, firstly, as I said, price was here right now, so we broke below these lows. Actually, we can mark that up there. We actually broke below this low. And then I said, possibly we had a break and a retest to the downside. But I said, wait, because this could be a fake out. And it was due to the time. This was 5 a.m. pre New York. So when you see a break like this and we're breaking the low, that generally means it's going to be a fake out at that time. That's why the timing is so important. So if you remember, I said there's most likely going to be a fake out strategy here on the lower time frame. And I'd prefer to actually take that long. So just wait. And what happened? Let's just remove everything so we can see it clearly. Again, fake wick to the downside, then a bullish break above the 30-minute, and all you do is take a buy. That 30-minute candle is the confirmation with a break above. You can do your impulse entries on the break, your high if you really want, or you can just end that. And it was a beautiful, beautiful retest entry there. So that was a really nice example of waiting for confirmation in the correct times. Right now, GJ looks like it's retesting this level to continue to the downside, but I'm not a huge fan of anything at the moment. I would prefer to possibly see because you can see we've got this sort of strong levels here. So I prefer to see like a break below here with the moving average and then a retest of that 50 MA on the 1 hour to then go to the downside. So that's what I prefer to see before I even entertain anything on GJ. All right. Pound NZD. Not really like it. Anything on that pair at the moment. I mean, to even trade this pair, it's got to be a great sell because the spread's large. It's not the best pair. It's slow moving. So, yeah, I'm not really a fan. But obviously, we can clearly possibly see that buys are probably lining up. We've got the head and shoulders, break below, break back above. So, possible we could possibly look for buys. Weekly, very messy wick rejections to the upside, so I'm not a big fan of the weekly. Daily, I'm making lower lows and lower highs, so yeah, it's not a huge fan. Not a huge fan at all. Most likely, I'd possibly look for a break and retest to go short, not long. And this is a great example of you don't just look for a head and shoulders on the 1 hour and 4 hour. It has to line up with alternate time frames, which is priority. Pound cards. Nope, don't like it. Messy. GU. I don't trade GU a lot, but its price action's been quite clean. I mean, we can clearly see it's quite nice at the moment. Nice, strong, powerful moves, clean direction. So, but nothing right now springs to mind on that one. Now, no oil or USD. So look at AU. Move. I can't remember if we even traded AU. I don't think we did. I think Butler did identify a short from this level, which I also liked. But again, we need confirmation, and there wasn't much confirmation, to be honest. It was just a large news move to the downside. But let's have a look where we could have entered. I don't really see a lot of opportunities apart from this one here. Obviously, we've had a break of structure, retest the moving average, but it's just really messy. Probably won't have taken anything. Maybe here. That's probably about it, but nothing really gave an entry on that one. AJ looks very similar to GJ. Is that a daily fake out strategy coming up? Maybe. Let's have a look. Yes, no, ish. It's the second candle, but still. So that's looking like also AJ could be going short. So daily looks good. Huge engulfing, retesting these highs, Retesting the moving average. So shorts are looking really nice on AJ there. And we're below the 50 moving average on the 1 hour. So they're looking really nice. So if we get a 30 minutes possible engulfing here, we can look at taking that short. That should be a really simple trade. Stop loss would be above the highs, obviously. And then we'll look to take it to this next level down here, about 100 pips. So that could be lining up. So keep an eye on that as well. Board cards. Pretty messy. It's a slow moving pair. I'm not a big fan. Nope. Under the USD, core that beautiful trade, and not much. Kind of a weird range. We're making lower lows and higher highs. That's just signs of indecision in the market. I mean, look, it's not really desirable. We don't want to look at things like that. CAD JPY. Not a big fan, I don't think. Again, similar setup to AJ, but you've got to find the ones with the most probability. Hence, we're above the moving average on this, but below an AJ. So we'd look for AJ, more probability of those shorts. Again, all the end pairs similar to that sense. And I think that is it, guys. So obviously we're focused on gold mainly. Oh, there we go. We've had that wick to the downside, possibly going to break above. So I'm going to send this video so you can watch this before London Open. And then I'll see you on the chart shortly.